Greetings, pen pals. Here we are for our bonus video, the final bonus video of 2020, and actually the final video period of 2020 for my channel. This will be the review of all the pens I use each day for work in the month of December. Just a little bit of a reminder, so there's no particular rhyme or reason to these. These just happen to be the pens I used each day for work, just taking notes at meetings, things, jotting down my to-do list, normal work stuff. For the month of December. December, from a work perspective, was quite a short month. I took a lot of vacation time, so there's going to be quite a few less pens in this month than in normal months. I got a full work schedule slated for January, so we'll have a lot more pens in the next video. So, no time like the present. Let's get right into it. The first pen up is a Parker Duofold. This is a vintage pen. This pen is from around 1926 or so. They made this pen for a lot of years. You can date them based on various characteristics, like the way the cap band is put together and stuff like that. It has a really beautiful, gigantic gold nib, writes really well, a wet writer, really, really nice pen. So here we have a Parker Duofold. This particular type of Duofold is commonly called a big red, even though it's orange. And this ink is an ink that really complements the pen well. This is Mnemosyne, Solar Storm, (1859). Parker Duofold. Great pen, and it was my first pen I used in the month of December. Next up is a pen that I did get, actually acquired in 2020. It's a gigantic pen. This is a Ranga Ganesha, but this has a Bach No. 8 titanium nib in it, which is great, which even has an ebonite feed. Fantastic pen. A beautiful acrylic pen from Ranga. Most of my Ranga pens are actually ebonite. This is a rare acrylic one in sort of the ivory and black. I really like the way this pen looks. So we have here a Ranga Ganesha. And this ink is Noodler's Blue Black. Ranga Ganesha. Great pen, and one of my acquisitions in 2020. Next up is definitely not an acquisition from 2020. I've had this pen for decades, plus it's a pretty old vintage pen. This pen dates from about 1960. This is the Sheaffer PFM. Sheaffer PFM. Believe it or not, PFM stood for Pen for Men. Of course, you would never sell a pen under that name nowadays. And this is from approximately 1960. And this ink is J. Herbin Eclat de Saphir. Had this pen for a very long time. One of my favorites in my collection, actually. Sheaffer PFM. Next up is a Montblanc pen. This is the Montblanc Starwalker ceramics. It's a screw to post pen, and nice pen. Very heavy, all metal pen. Really nice. So we have a Montblanc Starwalker. Ceramics. One of the cool things about this pen is it's got that floating Montblanc logo at the end of the cap, which is kind of nice. And this ink is Montblanc. Oyster Gray. Montblanc Starwalker ceramics. Really nice pen, hefty pen. Definitely has a lot of weight to it. Next up is definitely one of my favorite pens of all time. Pull to uncap. It's a Waterman Le Man Opera 100. This is definitely made to look like an older Waterman pen. I got an old Waterman pen coming up, so we'll see, we can compare them. Great pen, big nib, really like it. So Waterman Le Man Opera 100. And this ink is, again, one of my absolute favorite basic blue inks of all time. This is Ackerman Delftsblau. Great, great pen. The only thing I don't like about this pen is I kind of wish it was a screw to uncap. I think for this particular pen, a screw cap would have been better, but I'm being really picky. This is a great pen. All right, next up is a Pilot Custom Heritage 91 in this really nice sort of tangerine color. Really, really great pen. With, of course, a beautiful 14-karat Pilot nib. Ooh. Custom Heritage 91, and a really great Iroshizuku ink to match. This is Iroshizuku Fuyugaki. Great, great pen ink combo, if I do say so myself. All right, this next one up is a little bittersweet. This is an OMAS pen. OMAS went out of business a few years ago, which is kind of sad because they made really, really nice pens. This is an OMAS 360. It's shaped like this reload triangle, which is really kind of cool. Great, great pen, piston filling pen, gold nib. Really, really nice pen. So we have here an OMAS 360. And this ink is a special blend that I created myself to try to make a yellow ink that still has a lot of visibility to it. So I think I did an okay job at it, but this is a custom blended ink that I mixed myself. This is, we'll call it Allen's Yellow. There we go. OMAS 360. Really, really nice. Really nice pen. Shame about OMAS not being around anymore. Next up is one of the most expensive pens that I own. It might even be the most expensive, but I'm gonna have to double check. It's definitely up there. This is a Montblanc Alfred Hitchcock limited edition. So it's a really heavy pen, lots of sterling silver, all sorts of crazy features to specifically associate it with Alfred Hitchcock. I did a full review video on this pen a couple of years ago, so check that out if you want more information. So this is a Montblanc Alfred Hitchcock. And this is a limited edition. And of course, this ink is Montblanc Mystery Black. You would think with a name like Mystery Black, it would really be a very deep, deep, deep black. It really isn't. This is not even close to being a very, very black ink. It's actually a very, very dark purple. So when you clean a pen out in the sink that's been inked with this pen, with this ink, what you see is purple, not black. It's really interesting. But anyway, that is that pen. Next up is Lamy's, I think maybe one of the most expensive pens Lamy makes. It's a kind of a interesting pen. This is the Lamy Dialog 3. This is a capless retractable nib pen, much like the Pilot Vanishing Point. Has sort of a kind of a different type of trapdoor mechanism, and a pretty cool one at that, and has, again, what I've said before, probably the most single uselessly engineered feature in any pen. If you look at it very closely, when you turn the pen, the clip retracts into the body, but it just does it like a microscopic fraction of an inch. If you're going to go through all the trouble of engineering that feature in, you should have had the clip sink all the way into the body. That would have been neat. But in any case, there we go. So this is a Lamy Dialog 3. This actually has a gold nib, which is kind of unusual for at least the Lamy that I have. This is the only gold nib Lamy pen that I own. And this ink is a Lamy Blue Black. There we go. Lamy Dialog 3. Really, really nice pen. Got some real weight to it. Really substantial. The retraction mechanism works really well. Really nice pen. All right, next up is this vintage Waterman to go with the somewhat modern Waterman that we saw earlier. So if you notice, the chasing pattern is similar on both the pens. This one is the Waterman 55. It's made of actual black chased hard rubber. It is about 100 years old or so. Really, really great vintage pen that definitely has some flex and bounce to the nib. So this is a Waterman 55. And this ink is Waterman Absolute Brown. Used to call this ink Havana Brown, but they renamed most of their standard ink collection. They renamed a few years back. So Havana Brown became Absolute Brown. Florida Blue became Serenity Blue. I guess they started. They took the ones that were named after geographic places and renamed them, I guess, for whatever reason. So there we go. Next up is a pen a new pen for this year that I got. This is a very, very inexpensive pen from Sailor. This is a Sailor Compass. I really like it in this yellow color. It has a transparent feed, which really picks up the ink color well. And the handle, the little stem on the converter matches the color of the pen, which is really pretty nice. It comes in a whole bunch of different colors. So anyway, here we go. This is a Sailor Compass. And this is somewhat of a matching ink. This is an ink from Sailor, pretty new ink. So this is Sailor Studio, number 770. So it's not bad from a visibility standpoint from a yellow ink, but of course, obviously, the applications of a yellow ink like this are somewhat limited. I think it's fine for like taking notes for my own purposes. I certainly wouldn't hand somebody something that was written with this ink and expect them to be able to read it. I'm sure that's a little unreasonable, but it does work for me personally. All right, next up is a Pilot Custom Heritage 912. Great Pilot pen with a 14 karat nib. This one has the Falcon nib, not to be confused with the nib that's in the Pilot Falcon pen. They call this the FA nib, so you'll see this has a little bit of bounce to it, nice nib. So we have a Pilot Custom Heritage 912. And this ink is a Roshizuku. Amairu. Pilot Custom Heritage 912. Great part of that whole sort of family of really, really great 14 karat gold nib Pilot pens that cost between $100 and $200, which are just, like I said it before in other videos, and I'll say it again, Pilot kind of owns that price point as far as I'm concerned. Next up is one of my absolute favorite pens. I had this pen for a really long time. There's a Platinum 3776 Century in this Bourgogne finish, which is fantastic. Has a great gold nib. Really, really nice. Platinum 3776 Century. And this has what I consider to be the perfect ink to go with it, which is J. Herbin Rouge Bourgogne. So burgundy ink, burgundy colored pen, matches well, writes fantastic. One of my favorites, great pen. And I ended 2020, at least from a work writing pen perspective, with an absolute classic, Lamy 2000. Lamy 2000, and this has a medium 14 karat nib, and a classic pen gets a classic ink. This is Waterman Serenity Blue. All right, that will just about do it for this video. For those of you who've been with me on this journey for the whole year, for those of you who just recently joined, I thank you very much. For those of you who are not yet subscribing, I would encourage you to please like, comment, share, and subscribe. You could do those things. That would be most welcome, and I'd be most grateful. I hope you have a fantastic new year. I don't know about you, but I'm glad to see 2020 go bye-bye. Until we see each other again in the new year, Happy New Year. Bye-bye.